I welcome you today to our panel discussion organized by the Sri Lanka Business Council to show solidarity with the leadership and the people of the United Arab Emirates on their 50th National Day, which happens to be today. Dubai and the UAE has shown tremendous progress over the last 50 years. With their progress, they have created many opportunities, not just for their nationals, but also to those who have been associated with this blessed nation. Sri Lanka and Sri Lankans are no exception to this wonderful and eventful journey. We have been blessed to be part of this exciting story. As a community, some of us were able to support this growth, while many have benefited from the birth of a blessed nation, which is just 4 hours away from our motherland. Needless to say, for many, the UAE has become home away from home. The discussion today is focused on sharing our thoughts and experiences on our association with the UAE. In the panel, we have people from all walks of life, professionals, businessmen, officials, and community leaders. To introduce our first panelist, Mr. Srilankan Swaminathan, Chairman of Sri Lanka Business Council. Mr. Swaminathan, you have spent close to 4 decades in the UAE, and you've been part of UAE from many perspectives. This place has made you an entrepreneur from being an employee. What has been your experience in the UAE?
Well, Hassan, thinking about your question, it's a very interesting question that you asked. In Dubai, I think everybody is an entrepreneur. I think they have changed the mindset of people throughout these years. Yes, when we came here, we were employees, we had that employee mentality. But during the 40 years, what I have realized is they have changed the mentality and thinking of each and everybody to become an entrepreneur. Because everybody is thinking how they could use themselves, because Dubai has given the opportunity, UAE has given the opportunity to expand yourself. They have relaxed the visa rules for anybody, the young thinkers, anything at all, to be an entrepreneur. So, answering your question, for me also it was gradual. The opportunity was there, and I grabbed the opportunity. And with all the relaxing rules that has been relaxed all during these 40 years, when we came, it was a complete different country that we came to. But they have handled issues head on. There is a lot of thought process that has gone when they issue a law in this country. It has taken into consideration not only its nationals, not only its security, not only its safety, but also the people who come in, work here. They have relaxed it very well. Today, if you go to a government office to do any transaction, it takes you less than 5 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. You are out of there. And you are not treated any different than a local entity at all. You feel that you are part of this nation. And I think that is the beauty of this country. The country is prospering because that we all feel like this is our home, a home away from home for us. We are treated as equals. So I think that answered your question.
Fine illustration from Mr. Srilankan Swaminathan, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Business Council. Thank you, Mr. Suryan Swaminathan, for that. We move on to our next panelist, the well-known Mr. Kamini Khanagara. Mr. Khanagara, you're from one of the oldest Sri Lankan business entities in the UAE. You have been part of the progress of this great nation. What is it that you would like to say to both the UAE nationals and the Sri Lankans back home?
First of all, let me take the opportunity to say a big thank you for the UAE nationals and the leaders of UAE, sheikhs. When I speak about the progress of UAE, and Dubai is the main focus here, we opened our office as a business venture in 1983. Ever since I've been working, doing business in UAE. I see Dubai as a unique Emirates, and one must remember Sheikh Rashid, the visionary of Dubai. The first opportunity he got, he opened up Dubai for businesses, invite world business people from worldwide to come and start businesses here. So as a result, the first step he taken was open the sea routes and the air routes. So with these two routes, he opened the gateway to Gulf through Dubai. So this kept creating opportunities after opportunities after opportunities for people to come and start their businesses in Dubai. So come out subsequently, later part of the years, Sheikh Rashid's children, the sons took over the Emirates, especially Zainal Sheikh Mohammed and his brother's family, started pushing Dubai further into the world map. I can remember back in 1995-96, when Dubai announced the shopping festival 45 days event, everybody was taken up by surprise as what it is going to be. Then later we realized they attract over 400,000 to 500,000 visitors to Dubai to do shopping. So that's one step of it. Then subsequently, the following year it followed year on year. So the government of Dubai invited all the countries who are represented in UAE, including Sri Lanka, to have their cultural event or cultural showcase as a part of shopping festival. So they allocated a small space in Dubai Creek side, and our embassy was invited to build a small pavilion to show off Sri Lanka culture. So which I was initially taking part of physically, and we did a 5 meter by 3 meter pavilion and the showcase of Sri Lanka culture. I had a carpenter who was a good carving guy, so I got a Sandagata and we installed that in the cultural village. And that was in display for about 45 days again. That cultural village became the global village. Then from there, the global village kept on growing. And today, if you see, it has gone up to the World Expo 2020. So this is how Dubai has moved forward and progressively. So we are Sri Lankans who have been here for long decades, 4 or 5 decades, are happy to be a part of this growth and contributing to this growth as equal as national UAE itself. So then that is the vision of Sheikh Mohammed. Then on the business field of view, then if you all can remember, we should be able to remember that in 1999, Sheikh Mohammed GTEX announced the internet city concept in Dubai. He said, I'm going to get Silicon Valley equivalent in Dubai as media's internet city. So everybody was taken by surprise. But 2010, following year, 2010, year 2000, they opened the internet city, and in the next 2 years, all the multinational IT companies in the world had their regional office opened up in Dubai. So that gave further opportunity for businesses. So Dubai has been running on businesses, inviting multinational companies, individuals from all over the world to come and invest in Dubai, which everybody has accepted an open hand. As Mr. Suren said earlier, they relaxed a lot of regulations and made Dubai a comfortable home for businessmen to come and open their businesses.
Mr. Commander, for that amazing take, for taking us through the journey that you've been through here in UAE, especially in Dubai. I do have a few other questions which I'll come back to.
Yeah, sure.
On this special day, we have a very prominent figure from our community, the past chairman of Sri Lanka Business Community, Mr. Mohammed Riza. Mr. Riza, you too have spent a fair bit of time in UAE. And was this your intention at the beginning when you arrived here? That's my first question. And the other one is, what made you stay here for so long?
Yes, Hassan, you also asked the question as to what made you to stay so long. Honestly, I can come up with thousands of examples as to why all of us keep staying in this place for such a long time. In fact, we have a lot of people who came here, who migrated to various countries. If you ask them today, they say that they want to come back to Dubai. This is live example, we see this all the time. One of the examples that we can also talk about is the fact the way Dubai and UAE dealt with COVID. You know, this is very recent memory to all of us. People being here, you know, we were worried about COVID, but the way the government dealt with COVID, that there was less fear. We were careful, but you know, we were the way the government wanted to do it, that we were also facing the whole situation, and that's the reason we can all see that Dubai has become probably one of the best destinations in the world at the end of this COVID. I still remember, I think sometime in last year, it was the peak of COVID and there was so much of panic and fear. There was an understanding, there was an announcement saying that, you know, we will have no problem with regard to our basic requirements. That gives a lot of confidence to people, you know. People don't panic at that stage. And I still remember that there was a time that during the peak of it, we were all waiting for an announcement from the government medical establishment as to what the plan for COVID is. And we were all worried. We were all worried like anybody else. And the press announcement said, from tomorrow morning, we are launching a vaccination program and it's free for all. So this gave this kind of thing, you know, examples like this, I can go on and on and on and on. They make life easy for people. I think they have made it their mission to make life easy for people. So that's probably the reason that, you know, we have lived here for such a long time and we enjoy living here. That's why, again, I would like to wish the country, the people, the leadership, all the best. And then I'd like to congratulate the leadership on behalf of the Sri Lankans who are living here as well as living in Sri Lanka. Very best in their 50th National Day. With this, Hassan, if it's okay with you, I'd also like to introduce another senior person in Dubai. We call him Dhammika Ayya. You know, in Sri Lankan language, Ayya means brother, older brother. I don't know whether you're older or younger than me. But the reason why it will be interesting to talk to him is that he's also the, while being the head of the Sri Lankan professional organization, he has also a lot of experience in dealing with the young children through the school that we are conducting at the consulate office. So I think Dhammika will be a best person to tell us how the UAE has been for us in general, and also how the Sri Lankan children have kind of got into the UAE society. You know, that will be something interesting from you, Dhammika, if you can say that.
Thank you, Risa. Thank you very much. Hassan, all panel members, let me thank Sri Lankan Business Council for creating this wonderful opportunity to appreciate the quality life who has given to us, the government of UAE and people of UAE. Also, let me greet the rulers and leaders of the United Arab Emirates, the most common people's place to live. Answering or clarifying the question raised by Riza, let me go back beyond the children, because children, they are formed by the seniors, the adults. So in our Sri Lankan community is concerned, we landed here like starting from mid-70s, like 75, 76, that kind of period. So those days there were no Sri Lankan children here. Slowly, we start coming into the United Arab Emirates, and in mid-80s, a lot of professionals start coming in. Also then, like late 80s, we have a lot of children. I think I can give a simple statement. To date, we don't have a single Sri Lankan school here in the United Arab Emirates. We are more than 250 Sri Lankan community members living in this country. The country itself providing sufficient schools or education in appropriate manner to our children, whether they will go back to Sri Lanka or whether they will go to outside world. So there is fit for everybody's requirement, the education. Because this country took care of the children very seriously. The rulers of this country recognize the children is the future of any country. So they have paid enough attention to that very serious factor. Our children is concerned, they truly start enjoying living in a very fresh grounds, fresh fields, where most of the other places, when you go there, those places were not very fresh. The Dubai, similar to UAE, similar to the migration worker journey, Dubai started its life, UAE started its life in 1971. So it was a complete fresh grounds. So everybody, UAE government and the people accepted all of us as brothers and sisters. So we never felt any discriminated environment here in this country. So likewise our children. So for our children, it's become the second home. As Riza explained, there is no doubt about it. I have two children. They grown up here. And as Riza mentioned again, whenever they have the time, they are simply flying into Dubai to enjoy their second home. And one classic example, my son educated here, when he reached to the higher education level, he had a wonderful opportunity to go to European University, but he chose to stay in Dubai with his friends. So Dubai is such a lovely, friendly place for children. Likewise, living in the United Arab Emirates, we managed to keep our cultural roots with the children. That's the most important thing. This is a super important thing. We managed to make our children global, but keeping our cultural roots with the children. United Arab Emirates government given us enough opportunity to maintain our cultural roots within this wonderful land. So as a result of that opportunity created by the government of UAE, in early 2000, we established a school, Sri Lankan cultural school called Dubai Daham Pasala. It's educating our cultural roots to all our children. There are no discrimination in that school. All the religious students, all the races in Sri Lankans, they can come into that school. So therefore, wherever our children goes, they carry our roots with them. And most of them love to stay in United Arab Emirates and serve this wonderful nation. I think I answered your first question.
Thank you.
I have plenty of things to speak up. Later I'll come back.
Thank you, Dhammika, if I may. Dhammika mentioned an interesting point about the children loving to be here, and also that there is equal opportunity for the children.
Correct.
And I'd like to just ask the business people here, especially Kamini and Suren, you all are doing business with many other nationalities here. How do you feel the business environment here? Dhammika, do you want to say that? How do you see how is the business environment? I would
like to elaborate a little bit more on what Dhammika said. There is one more very important aspect in UAE. I am a proud father of a special needs child.
that's
born
interesting.
here
Yes.
in '92. My other two children also born here. Now, when you have a special needs child, you think, what is his future going to be? He was educated here. And I think there is no country on earth than the UAE that treats children of special needs, because they are being called the people of determination.
Correct.
They are being given priority and free entrance to every location anywhere around. They are treated as super VVIP people. And I am eternally grateful to UAE for that. And this is something that I am very, very proud of.
Thanks for bringing up that point, which again speaks a lot about the way that UAE cares for people. Like we always say, they are looking for ways to make life easy for people. I think this is a good example for most countries across the world to look and learn these ways that they manage the place. Having said that, Gamini, do you want to say, you're running business with various other nationalities. Probably it's a new experience compared to if you were doing business back in Sri Lanka. How do you see that? Do you see any issues because you're being a Sri Lankan doing business in UAE?
Well, Risa, we do conduct live research in about 25-30 countries on our own. When you come to Middle East countries from the rest of the world, Dubai has been the first step in our career here as our business. As I said earlier, Dubai make you comfortable. They don't make you suffer, they make you comfortable. Doing business in Dubai and the rest of the Emirates are equally easy. All what you do is to follow the local rules and regulations. As long as you follow it, you can do your business, conduct your business as long as you want in your life, or hand it to the next generation, and if you think you are going to retire, you can retire. Compared to other countries, there are certain restrictions in those countries when it comes to partnership and etc. etc. Dubai have been learning on this aspect over a period, and always, every year, they have been deregulating rules and regulations and attracting business community to come to Dubai and invest. This is the success of Dubai. The success of Dubai. I always say that, right? Because it's a vision of Sheikh Mohammed. It's a democracy that they adopted. So I always recommend to my friends, whoever asks me, is it Dubai is good to do business? I said yes. If you know the field what you want to do, if you know the industry what you want to work with, just walk in there. There are enough and more ground and avenues you can start it there. Facilities, infrastructure, power, water, the manpower availability and the way to get your manpower in. And those all are currently readily available. All what you need to do is get into Dubai and decide what to do and get going. That's all.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
say.
I'm sure that because Dubai being Dubai, with so many different multinationals, different nationalities, this is an exciting business place. But I'm sure there will be competition as well, right? That's the normal thing. But I think you brought in that interesting perspective when I think Suren, you talked about your son and the facility that this country has for them.
Coming back to business, when the 2008 global crisis happened, Dubai didn't discriminate. The UAE didn't discriminate between businesses. They gave a bank protection to everybody that their deposits are safe. Right. And same thing happened during COVID time. They relaxed so much of rules for the business people, and they listened to us, and they adapted to what we were saying, because being in the business council,
Yeah.
we go for these meetings, we know how they do it. And today, it takes just 15 minutes to get a license. You can apply it you can go to the web and just apply your license.
So this clearly shows the reason why we have gathered here, to again congratulate, wish, thank the leadership of Dubai and the people here in the special day, that is the 50th National Day.
Riza, may I compliment what Gamini said about the democracy in this country? As a teacher in a cultural school, I found that the liberal environment happening here, our children, so they were not color blinded. So there were no demarcation in their visions. They were free to think, and therefore for us it was very convenient for them to convince what is good and what is bad. And especially the country trained all our children. There are no good or bad people, bad communities. They are different. They were trained to accept all of them, differences. So that strength, that beauty was built into our children.
Yes, today in the proceedings we will now listen to Mr. Chakradharan, who is no stranger to any of us. Chakradharan has been a leading lawyer in the UAE for a very long time. He's been a member of the ICC, was also involved in the initial days of DIFC formation. A senior lawyer that we have learned a lot from him, and he has been a major pillar of the Sri Lankan community, and we are looking forward to listen to it.
I am truly honored to provide a message on the 50th anniversary of the formation of the United Arab Emirates. Sheikh Zayed, the father of the nation, and Sheikh Rashid believed truly in the union and played a dominant role in its formation. In virtually one generation, the leaders of this young nation have brought together a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multinational group of people practicing different religions to live in peace, in harmony, in total freedom, happiness, tolerance, and safety, all as one race, the human race. The Emirates is a modern miracle. Be it in science, technology, environmental issues, education, quality of living, and bear in mind that it was all achieved in virtually one generation. A benevolent feudal form of government based on traditional values has achieved this, and this is a tremendous tribute to the father of this nation, Zaid the Great.
We have been having interesting discussions to mark the UAE 50th National Day. Interesting discussions. Next in line we have is Mr. Farooq Qasim, who's again no stranger to the business community here. We are told he's been here from 1975, which means he has seen it all of what's happening in Dubai and UAE. He's one of our leading businessmen. We'd like to hear from him now. Let's see what Mr. Qasim has to say.
I'm Farooq Qasim, Vice Chairman of Sri Lanka Business Council in Dubai. I moved to Dubai on the 1st of November 1975 when UAE was just less than 4 years old. I was 17 years old and came with a plan to buy a new car and go back home. 46 years later, I continue to call Dubai the city that has given me so much, my true home. From the dusty streets of Dera, I have witnessed the city of gleaming skyscrapers rising up from the desert. The foundation led by the visionary and the founders of the UAE from all Emirates still continues with all rulers of all the 7 Emirates. Their decision to welcome all nationalities, which today is over 200 in the UAE. The ease of doing business, world-class infrastructure, the digitalization of the economy. Today it's ranked number 7 in the Smart Services Index. It has all paid off to attract talent from all over the world. I send my best wishes and congratulations to all the rulers of all the 7 Emirates, including His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the wonderful people of the UAE on the occasion of their 50th National Day. Thank you very much.
Today, to mark the 50th National Day, we are hearing from prominent Sri Lankans who have been here, both from the business side as well as the professional side. In that line, we are now going to listen to Dunstan Rosario, who has been an active member in the community. He's also involved in doing many kind of events in the UAE. We're looking forward to hearing from Dunstan Rosario.
Every year, all residents come together as one big nation to celebrate the UAE's National Day, expressing our gratitude together towards the rulers and its citizens. At the same time, taking opportunity to pay tribute to the UAE late rulers and citizens. The Sri Lankan Business Council has been privileged to attend and participate in celebrations during those extensive years. Sri Lankan Embassy and Consulate office have been richly developed a solid relationship with the UAE and its citizens. We have witnessed the UAE's rapid and steady growth, taking shape in strength to strength to be one of the global leading economies, as well for a fully developed country like no other. We Sri Lankans are happy and thankful for the opportunities granted for us in this great nation. On behalf of the Sri Lankan Business Council, we congratulate the UAE on their golden 50th National Day. While we pray for peace, respect and unity to continuously prevail, I thank and wish all of you a happy 50th National Day.
On this special occasion, we would like to hear from the Ambassador of Sri Lanka to the UAE, His Excellency Malraj De Silva.
Ayubowan, everyone. I'm so happy to say a few words for the Golden Jubilee of United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates actually is a country we consider as our second home. It's not just today, it's for many years. The reason is when we go to any GCC country, what people say, we are going to Dubai. That's how they say. So Dubai is a place where all Sri Lankans are know about as a country. First of all, I like to say that our relationship is only diplomatic relationship about 40 years, but it doesn't mean that only 40 years we know each other. We are for thousands years, we have been doing trading with Sri Lanka, between UAE and Sri Lanka. That's the reason if you consider Hambantota, there are a lot of Arabs descendants who are there. Now they are with families, they are Sri Lankans now. So Sri Lanka and United Arab Emirates, our friendship is not just a friendship, it's a brotherly, the family is a friendship. So this friendship actually, to cultivate more, what I have done, I have invited Our Excellency the President to come to visit United Arab Emirates during the Golden Jubilee period. Excellency the President being invited by the rulers of United Arab Emirates, and he is supposed to visit just after the National Day to make this friendship much higher level. I like to thank, because this is a nation that keeps over 350,000 Sri Lankans. So this is our second home, as I said, for many. And for that matter, I like to thank the entire rulers of all the 7 Emirates, especially Sheikh Maktoum of Dubai, as well as Sheikh Mohammed Nahyan in Abu Dhabi, the Crown Prince. So I like to thank them very much for giving all the assistance to Sri Lankans. May God bless United Arab Emirates, and may all the Sri Lankans also help to more, so that the United Arab Emirates will a country in the whole Gulf region will be the number 1 country. Thank you very much. Ayubowan.
Up next, on this special occasion, is the message from Honorable Nalinda Vijayaratna, Consul General of Dubai and Northern Emirates.
Ayubowan. On this special day that the United Arab Emirates celebrates its 50th Golden Jubilee National Day, on behalf of the government of Sri Lanka as well as the Consulate General of Sri Lanka in Dubai, I wish to extend my heartiest congratulations and best wishes to the visionary leadership and the citizens of this great nation.